I don't know if you heard the introduction. I was a semi-finalist on NBC's Last Comic Standing. And yeah, it is very impressive. Well, people say all the time, they go, what happens to the comedians that don't win that show? What happens to the semi-finalists? How's it going? Promo, we did it. Yeah. All right. You didn't vote and I didn't win. And now we are reunited. It's like old times in here. Thanks for being here. It's great. I've had a weird week. I got in a fight with my girlfriend on Monday, and I realized the longer we've dated, the dumber the things are that we fight about. We got into an argument about the way I eat pizza. I know, and all it is when I eat pizza, I take the napkins, I press it down on top of the pizza to soak up all the grease. And then I eat the napkins as an appetizer right in front of her. Yeah, it's controversial. Not everyone's on board. I'm kidding, you guys. I don't have a girlfriend. No, I do, and she would hate that I did that joke. I appreciate you being here. A lot of couples in here. That's great. Couple skate only, or backwards. Backward skate. I was married. I've done it. It's tough. Marriage is hard. Heard of guys married 19 years in here. It's a long time. I was married twice. It doesn't equal a quarter of the amount of time that guy's been married. Think about that. That's a math joke. Here's what I don't like. I found out I've been married twice. Women seem to have all the power. That's what I've learned, being married, right, ladies? It's true. It's 100%. No guy in here wants to go to Big Lots. All right? You ever been to Big Lots? It looks like a terrorist attack happened. Everything's in the wrong aisle. There's more discontinued food than you've ever seen. We would get home like, why did you buy jalapeno flavored Oreos? That is the spiciest cookie I've ever... She's like, they were $1 at Big Lots. Well, you can't eat them. That's why they're $1. They didn't sell at Target, so they shipped that to Big Lots. And Big Lots doesn't care. They're like, whatever, we'll take it. What is it, jalapeno? Yeah, put those next to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles home pregnancy tests that we also sell at a slightly discounted rate. Couples are like, I don't know, honey, is it Donatello or Michelangelo? I think our baby's gonna have turtle powers, so yeah, I guess this is important. Turn off the game and get in here. Got kids out of the deal. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, I keep telling myself that to convince myself. Yeah, it's hard to have kids. I have 2 kids. I have a 23-year-old son, graduated, out of the house, and I have a 7-year-old. Oh, well, I guess I'm the dumbest person in the room. Let's all have a laugh. Let's all point at the man who made bad decisions. Look at him. Yeah, 23 and 7. Someone is not a planner. I love them. My youngest son is adorable. His name is Simon. Is that a good name for Simon? I didn't pick it. So I can't take credit or blame. And it's interesting, though, because she didn't pick it either. Yeah, this is what she said. She was like, John, I prayed to God, and I asked God what we should name our baby, and God said we should name our baby Simon. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to win this argument, huh? Now that the Lord is involved. I was like, well, let's do this. How about you pick the first name, I will pick the middle name. And she was like, what's your angle? And I go, I don't have an angle. That's fair. And she was like, okay. And I was like, Garfunkel. Boom, we did it. We just named our baby. Simon Garfunkel Evans. I'm sure he will have a normal life. You know? All things considered. Dr. Simon Garfunkel Evans. He's a cute kid. I worry about my kids. I worry that they're not going to grow up normal. Do you guys worry about that? Like they're exposed to so much... Yeah, my son breastfed till he was 5 years old. Yeah, it's jarring. Any ladies in here breastfeed to 5? Nope, it's an exclusive group, as it turns out. And I've had women defend it. I had a woman come up to me after a show. She was like, you know, that's extended breastfeeding, and it's nurturing, and it's going to create a bond between him and his mother. I was like, yeah, it's also gonna be weird when he's in Little League and all the other kids are drinking Gatorade at the game. When you can wear cleats, it's time to stop breastfeeding. I think we can all agree. Pretty sure that's in a baby book somewhere. I am no expert. But that's my baby mama, nothing I can do about it, you know. We didn't get along. She was a drug and alcohol counselor, which is about as fun as it sounds like it would be. But it's amazing to be here. You guys have been so great. Everybody's been so nice. You know, I spent my day, I went to like 8 thrift stores. This town, this is like a time machine, this town. Do you guys shop at thrift stores? I do, I love it. I like the Savers, because they try to act like a regular department store, but I've never been to a regular department store that smells like my grandma's house and stuff, so it's a little weird. You can find amazing things. You can get a bowling ball for $1. Actually, you know what? You can get a bowling trophy for 50 cents and just cut out the middleman. My friends are like, dude, I didn't know you bowled a 300 game, and there's a lot of things you don't know about me. How come we don't ever go bowling? I don't want to talk about it anymore. Maybe I'm in the famous bowler relocation program, bro. You ask a lot of questions about what's obviously my favorite sport, based on the amount of trophies I have with other people's names on them. Now you ruined it. This happened to me at Goodwill. I'm 48 years old, which is not terribly old, but it's midlife if I'm being honest with myself and others. I'm checking out at Goodwill, and the lady behind the counter says this to me. She goes, "Are you eligible for any discounts?" And I didn't know what she meant by that, and I was like, "Oh, I like to save money. What kind of discounts are we talking about?" I walked right into it. She was like, "I don't know, 55 or older?" And I was like, "No, I'm not eligible for that particular discount at this time." And then she goes, "You know what? I didn't think so." "Oh, you didn't think so? Well, then who brought that up then where I could be a senior citizen? Was the guy in the bric-a-brac going, check his ID? Well, he might want to save 87 cents. "Oh, I didn't think so. Oh, you." I was at a Salvation Army store once. There was a guy in front of me checking out who wanted a discount on shoes because the shoes he was buying didn't have laces in them. And I was like, "Hey, it's $2 for shoes. Take a chance. You know, it's probably gonna work out." And he was arguing with the cashier, and at one point he goes, "Well, I want to talk to the manager about the shoelace policy of the Salvation Army." Those words have never been said in that order, ever. And I was next in line. I'm like, "Hey, maybe they take the laces out of the shoes so the employees don't try to hang themselves on their lunch break. Like, I'll give you $1. I don't have time for your chicanery." Oh, I was mad, and I'm an English major. I was like, "Chicanery, look it up," and I threw a thesaurus at him and walked away. He was like, "I thought a thesaurus was a dinosaur." My favorite part about Goodwill is they have video cameras set up so you can't steal their awesome crap. They should have a video camera pointed at the video camera because that's the most valuable thing in the whole... Who is guarding the video camera? If I ran Goodwill, there would just be 2 video cameras pointed at each other. And people would be walking out with all of the macrame owls. One of those walkers with a toilet seat attached to the top. Grab that quesadilla machine. It's weird. You can't go to a Goodwill without finding a walker with a toilet seat attached to the top. Used. And I don't know why it's there, but I don't want to know why it's there. I'm pretty sure you have to die to give up your walker with the toilet seat attached. Right? There's no upgrade. You Can't get a nicer one or next year's model. Nobody's like, oh man, the 2020s just came in and there's a cup holder. This one's got Wi-Fi. This one's got Wi-Fi right there. Nobody wakes up all optimistic going, honey, I'm tired of pooping in my walker. Well, I'm gonna start using the toilet like everyone else, so call the Goodwill. Schedule pickup for my walker pooper today. Free at last. I mean, it's one thing to wear a shirt that's got some other guy's name written into the collar. It's another thing to use a dead guy's walker pooper. That's all I'm saying. I like a value, who doesn't? But in that situation, you gotta buy new. I'm sorry, you're not cutting corners. You're not trying to save a buck. There's too many memories associated with a dead man's walker pooper. It could be haunted, and then what? You got a haunted walker pooper in your house. A poopergeist. Look, we could go round and round about if this joke is too long, but we're gonna end up right back here with more questions and answers. I used to drink. I don't drink. I haven't drank. I'm coming 4 years in June that I have not drank. I feel good about that. A lot of stories, not gonna bore you with them. I used to like to go to breakfast drunk, 3 in the morning. You ever do that? 3 a.m., Denny's, IHOP. Here's what you do. Next time you're like with your friends, 3 in the morning, do this. Order the biggest breakfast on the menu. When they get to the part where they ask you what kind of eggs you want, just be like, Easter, and could you hide them from me? And stare at them till it's awkward. The menu says 2 eggs any style, and the style I have chosen is Easter, so. Oh no, if you want to get a manager, do what you gotta do. Look, I was not prepared. I want to tell you how to do your job. I'm about to be rich. Not from this. I did sell a TV show, actually, that's going to be on A&E in May of 2020. And I'm really excited about that. Thank you. It's a show, it's a dating show for guys who feel they are inadequate. And it's called Short End of the Stick. And look, I think it's $1 million idea. And there is a sign-up sheet on your way out the door if you care to become a reality star in that manner. It's 2020. It seems weird that are we really 2 decades into the 2000s? That seems strange. Seems like it was just 2001, right? Y2K. Remember Y2K? Everybody thought the world was gonna end. Now Donald Trump's president and everybody thinks the world's gonna end. It's amazing how resilient we are as a people. I made one resolution in 2020, that was to quit smoking cigarettes. Yep. I'm working on it. It's difficult. Anyone that's quit, you know how hard it is to quit smoking. It's like saying goodbye to an old friend that's been trying to kill you for, 15 years. You develop a bond. And I will say this, if you don't smoke, that's great, but don't be the person that forces your non-smoking agenda on people who smoke, because people who smoke, we get it. We know that smoking is bad. Like, if you see someone smoking outside, don't ever walk by someone smoking outside going like this. What are you trying to say? I went to Walmart to buy cigarettes. They only have one line at Walmart. You have to be patient to buy cigarettes. Some guy in front of you is buying a boat at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 8 items or less. It's a boat. There's a lot of paperwork. It's a sea vessel. I'm buying cigarettes at Walmart. The guy that works at Walmart is the most militant anti-smoker I've ever encountered. I walk up, I'm like Marlboro Lights, and the guy goes, soft pack or hard? And I'm like, hard. He goes, hundreds or regular? I'm like, regular. He goes, you wouldn't have to answer all these questions if you just quit smoking. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then he backed off. He's like, you know what? You'll quit when you're ready. I know I smoked for 27 years. I was like, really? He goes, yeah. And then he goes, you know, when I knew it was time to quit smoking, I was like, no, but I bet you're going to tell me. He was like, well, it was when my doctor told me that I had lung cancer. Wait a minute, you have one line to buy cigarettes and you put the lung cancer guy in charge of that line? Are you kidding me, Walmart? Who makes the schedule? You don't have a 17-year-old just discovering the joys of tobacco anywhere? You can't make lung cancer be the greeter? I just think it would be harder to work into the conversation. Because you can't be like, hi, welcome to Walmart, I have lung cancer. Interesting fact about me. I think people are getting crazy with these emotional support animals. Is anyone else? Yeah, I know some people need them. But I think people are taking advantage of this. Don't you, a little bit? And my problem, what about the animal? What about the dog? The dog's got to spend every day with some guy that's like, I get sad when it's cloudy outside. You know what I mean? This dog is on 24 hours a day call in case this guy wants to get bagel bites at 2 in the morning. He's got to go. I just wish dogs could talk. You know what I mean? Like just a dog saying, you know what? I'm just not feeling this trip to Tampa. I had kind of a messed up childhood. I don't like to talk about it unless there's a microphone and an audience. And then, push comes to shove, I will. I was raised very non-religious, thank God. And I don't know how we did it. I appreciate you guys so much for laughing. It's a key part of any comedy show, laughter. Even if it's at me. My dad, when I was a kid, worked for Atari, the video game company. Yeah. And people want to blame video games for problems in our society. There are people who think video games are making our kids violent. You know what? A video game is only as violent as the crazy little kid that's playing the video game. You can't blame the video game. And I know that's true because I remember what life was like before video games. We had simple toys. Remember the FisherPrice people? They had the one squiggly hair on the front and no legs. I was really violent with my FisherPrice people. Yeah, sometimes the plane crashed, and that's just the way it had to be. Third day in a row, no survivors. Well, this airport is jinxed. One year for Christmas, my parents bought me and my brother the FisherPrice Town. And it had everything. It had a grocery store and a bakery, a little fire department with a siren. And every day something was on fire in my town. Yeah. And people died. Lives were lost. I did not care when I was 8 years old. But I think back, I could have done anything with this toy. I could have been the town doctor, healing the sick people of the FisherPrice Town, making a difference in my community. I could have been a wealthy businessman renting out one of the luxury apartments in the FisherPrice Town. I have regrets. I never even played with the bakery. Unless the bakery was on fire, and then, I was like, can't somebody bake a pie without setting my whole town on fire? I'm trying to run a town. My mom would come in, she's like, if you don't stop playing with that, I don't know why I made my mom gay in this joke. She's like, hey, if you don't stop playing with that toy and get in here and eat dinner. I was like, whoa, playing? Is that what it looks like that I'm doing? You're the one who said, leave mommy alone, use your imagination. Well, this is what it's come to. I have to call all of their families now. Are you happy? These are difficult phone calls for a kindergartner to make. And I don't think your taco pizza is gonna fix this situation. Doreen. Good day to you. I said good day. It's the first show of the night. I want to thank you guys for laughing. I said that. More importantly, thank you for not being offended by the jokes, because that's the new trend in comedy. People get offended by comedy. And look, if you're offended by comedy, what are you doing at the comedy show where they have the comedy? Don't go here. And the reason I bring this up is because I used to do a joke that I stopped doing because a woman told me that she was offended by the joke. Now, I'm going to do it for you guys because she's not here. And more importantly, because the joke is not offensive. It's actually impossible to be offended by this joke. And this is the joke. I found out in the month of May in this country, we have something called a National Missing Child Day. And it's to bring awareness to the situation of missing children in the United States, which is a great cause. And you know what I like to do on National Missing Child Day? Give one of them back. And the look on the parent's face, that connection, that moment, you know? Well, some people talk about giving back to the community. I give back the community. You know, where's my key to the city? Where's my parade? That was the appropriate reaction that you guys had. Most of you laughed at that, some of you did not. The point is, we all understand that at the very least, that is a joke. Like, clearly, I don't really have an apartment filled with missing children that I release once a year, one at a time, in some kind of lottery fashion. Like, okay, who's going home this year? One of you kids is gonna, this is exciting. Okay, Connor. Is there, like, how could you be offended by that joke? Well, I was in Omaha, Nebraska, because I'm playing all the major markets in North America. And a lady came up to me at the end of the night, very upset by that joke, and she confronted me in the bar after the show, and she was a little bit drunk, but she was angry, and she was like, "Excuse me, sir, I just want you to know, if you've ever had a family member missing, or you knew a family that had a missing child, you would not do that joke. And the only reason I say that is because I had a son that died." I was like, was he missing? Because that's a key part of the story that I just... And she just stared at me for like 20 seconds, blank-faced. And then finally she goes, "No." I was like, well, at least you know where he is. You guys were a treat. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you, Provo. Thanks for watching my Dry Bar special. I'm assuming if you've made it this far, this is a great opportunity for you to tip a comedian. People didn't know you can tip comedians, but it's your opportunity right here, right now, to tip whatever denomination you feel is appropriate. If you want to tip $10, I could then take that $10 to a Goodwill store and buy a dinette set and china hutch, and possibly a hamper, and a macrame owl. So what I'd like at this moment is to consider how much you enjoyed watching my comedy and tip accordingly. Thank you, and keep supporting Dry Bar Comedy.